Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner, pleased to be alongside Brandel Chambly, our partner. Yet another iteration of the FedEx Cup finale. No starting strokes. It's a bit like the old Tour Championship. What do you think?
Yeah, look, if you go back to the evolution of the FedEx Cup playoffs and the Tour Championship, we've had a period of time in the beginning where if you played really well all year long and in the early stages of the playoffs, you didn't even need to play at the Tour Championship to win the FedEx Cup. Well, they didn't like that for obvious reasons, and that was Vijay Singh in 2008. Yeah. Then they had an iteration where you could come in here, and if you play well, you might win the Tour Championship, you might win the FedEx Cup, and 4 times we had 2 different winners. Well, that was a little confusing. Had Sands busy, though, didn't it, on that whiteboard. And then they had another iteration where they had staggered strokes, and guess what? You could come in here and shoot the lowest score, and you would neither win or could neither win the Tour Championship or the FedEx Cup. That happened 4 different times. So once again, I would say that would prove that if you put a committee in charge of building a bench, you probably couldn't sit on the bench. Not to disparage the committee, it's proven to be very, very hard to end the season with a meaningful, climatic, dramatic event that encapsulates everything that's happened during the course of the year. So here we are, no strokes, and we're back to just a good old-fashioned golf tournament, which is good. But, you know, if the guy who's 27th, 28th, or 29th, or 30th who wins this week, you're not going to be able to say that he was the season-long best player, not by any stretch of the imagination. But the game of golf and the PGA Tour has a lot of different ways to say who the best player of the year was.
That's a good point.
And unless it's Scottie Scheffler, it's going to be wrong this week.
We all know who it is. Playoffs actually have been pretty good so far for the most part, even if they don't feel like playoffs in other sports, win or go home. Justin Rose, high-level playoff over J.J. Spawn in Memphis. Scotty Magic, and we'll have more on that outside of Baltimore. 30 is now the number defining success for most guys. Again, no starting strokes this year, so despite Scotty having twice as many points as number 2 Rory McIlroy, there will be no advantage for him. Lowest score at the end of 4 rounds will be the FedEx Cup champion. That Scottie chip-in at the BMW seems to have changed the vibe. Scotty was great, but he wasn't Instagram buzzy hot. He had the admiration, but not the world's attention. He does now. Mahomes and LeBron blown away and posting on social. With more on Scotty, we welcome Todd Lewis. Todd?
Well, Rich, after that great win in the BMW, Scottie Scheffler flew from Maryland to Atlanta, took Monday off to kind of rest mentally and physically, started his on-course preps on Tuesday and wrapped him up today, playing a 9-hole practice round. He played the second 9. Now, as you guys mentioned, in years past, Scotty would show up here at East Lake with a 2-shot advantage over the field without even striking a shot. That is not the case this year, and Scotty is very much okay with that.
I think the last few years has been an unusual format, and I gave up my handicap this year, which is it's a little different. I much prefer this format. I think having a really good golf tournament to finish off our year is the way to do it. And I didn't think with the way the format was the last couple of years, I didn't think it was a great tournament. And, going into this year, I had a great year in order to qualify for this championship, and now I got 4 days to go out and try and win the FedEx Cup.
Give me a little bit more specifics on why you think this format is better compared to years past.
Well, I just think finishing off our year with a great tournament is the way to do it. You know, we play our whole year playing golf a certain way, and then all of a sudden you get to the last tournament, there's starting strokes. I think it was a bit gimmicky. I think it was maybe a lazy solution to the problem that we had before with the 2 trophies, and I just much prefer having a great tournament on a good golf course to finish our season.
All right, you've been going through a grind through the playoffs, and you talked about even last week when you won at BMW how much you have to stay on top physically and mentally. From the Scottie Scheffler approach, what is the process to make sure you are sharp for the Tour Championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think after having a week like last week, it takes a lot out of you being in contention. And so going into this week, I'm focusing on rest the first couple of days. You know, I'm going to get used to the speed of the greens, get used to the bunkers in the rough. But overall, I'm not going to be hitting many balls in the driving range. I'm going to play 9 holes and do my putting and chipping, and then I'm going to get out of here. So a little bit of a different prep work than a normal week, but that's just because I feel like my game's in a good spot, and I need rest going into this week.
Not sure if you are into comparing 2025 to 2024, but have you seen an elevation in your game
this year compared to last year?
I feel like I've made some improvements for sure. I'm not big on the comparisons and stuff like that, but overall, the way I felt on the greens this year, it feels like I'm back to putting the way I was when I was a kid. I'm feeling very free. I feel like my game's in a good spot, and I've enjoyed the work that Phil and I have put in over the last 2 years, and I feel like we're always looking for ways to improve, and I feel like we've done a good job this year of staying patient and focusing on the right things, and it's nice to see some results from that as well.
A couple of things. You've held the Player of the Year trophy a few times. It looks like there's a good chance you're going to hold it again this year. Statistics are one thing, finishes are one thing, but to have that vote from your peers to be Player of the Year, if that happens again, how meaningful is that?
Yeah, it's very special. I think when you look at the Player of the Year trophy, I think it's something that's really cool that the players get to vote on. And I think getting that kind of vote of confidence from your peers, I think nobody understands what it's like in the arena unless you're in the arena. And so to have that vote from your peers, and I've been fortunate to win that award before, it's a very special feeling.
All right, final thing. I know you're focused on the Tour Championship, but in a few weeks you're going to be representing the red, white, and blue in the Ryder Cup. You had a dinner last night. You're going to be on that team. How would you describe the mood, the vibe, the attitude of the U.S. team right now?
Yeah, I think we're excited. I think we're excited to get to Bethpage. Keegan has done an amazing job with our captainship, and I mean he's been tremendous. I've been blown away by the work that he's done and the energy that he brings and the passion that he brings, and we're excited to go to Bethpage and play for him, play for our country. There's nothing like putting on the stars and stripes. There's no feeling like it in golf, and we're excited.
I had a chance to talk to the captain, Keegan Bradley, about that dinner last night and Scottie Scheffler's role on the team. And he said Scottie Scheffler is by far the biggest star on the team. He's automatically qualified. But by far, he is making sure that he is not a star on that team. He is just one of the guys. And the other teammates really do love that aspect in regards to Scottie Scheffler. But that's his DNA. That's the way he is wired. One other thing that should be pointed out this week, of course, his friend and caddy, Ted Scott, missed last week at the BMW Championship to be at home in Louisiana to attend to a personal family emergency. Ted is back here this week. I have walked the fairways with Scottie and Ted, and there's some normalcy back for Scottie and for Ted Scott. They are laughing and enjoying their time together. And, of course, Ted will be a tremendous asset for Scottie Scheffler as he tries to win the FedEx Cup once again.
Yeah, and if he wins this week, that is a 6th win this year. He's won 5 of his last 10 starts. How about that? And that's why, Todd, thank you. He is the overwhelming favorite, as you could imagine, this week. The odds, and it is a field of only 30, but Scottie is almost even money, better than 2-1 to win. Shortest odds of any player since Tiger at the 2009 Tour Championship. Look, even Scottie said on our set Sunday night down at the BMW, he's not Tiger Woods. We all get that, but you can't help but go there. Brandel, final round, that BMW, it did feel early on like prime Tiger, intimidating Tiger. 4-shot lead was gone in 5 holes. Bob McIntyre started with the lead, and then the 3-run home run at the 17th. What'd you think of it all?
Yeah, I know he hates the comparisons, and everybody gets impoverished when they're compared to Tiger Woods. And I say that with the exception, I would say increasing exception, with Scottie Scheffler. I ran into Matt Wallace the day after the Open Championship in a hotel in Dublin, downtown Dublin. I asked him what he thought. And he looked at me and he thought, he goes, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but I think Scottie plays better golf than Tiger Woods played. He goes, Tiger, 2004 on, was inaccurate. He hit it all over the place, and he was always doing the heroic things. But he goes, Matt was just like, from just clean golf, finding the fairways, hitting quality iron shots, getting it pen high, playing clean golf. I don't know that we've ever seen golf played as cleanly and as superbly as Scottie Scheffler. Now, the knock on him is that he's boring because he's right down the fairway. I hear that all the time. I'm like, really? Are you watching the same thing I'm watching?